follow-up to estate tax strategies. We talked about this last week. Stewart Welch of the Welch Group joins us this morning with some more advice. It's good to see you today.
Good morning, Rick.
Okay, I referred to it last week as that rich relative that always liked you. You always sent that fruitcake to, and so now we're getting to that point where they're talking about what to do here. You were talking about some of the strategies, a smart move this year based on the way the law is set in place. You also talked about the potential for it changing. President Obama has suggested he'd be happy with an estate tax exemption of $3.5 million for an individual. Mitt Romney, if he were to be the nominee, he says his idea would be do away with estate tax altogether. But you say that's not very likely in this election season, right?
Well, Rick, I think this year it's unlikely anything's going to happen. They're not going to make a change like this, I think, during an election year. And, you know, the election is in November. Between November and the end of the year is not enough time. So what everybody's really hoping for is that something will happen next year. It's not going to happen January 1. So I think most likely what's going to happen is on January 1, the estate tax exemption is going to drop from $5 million, where it currently is, to $1 million. $1 million captures a lot of middle-income America, so that's a disaster. So they're hoping they'll make a change sometime during 2013 and then make that change retroactive back to January 1.
Okay, let's talk now for a moment, shift gears here and touch on another area. And this was something that you noticed, and you emailed me and said, let's bring this up for a minute. Paying taxes with credit cards.
Yeah, most people don't know that you can do that, and so when they first hear that, they go, that's a great idea. I'm going to get all these air miles and, you know, all the credit card rewards.
Yeah.
And the trick is the federal government doesn't let you get away with that. They're basically saying whatever they're charging us, we're going to turn around and charge you. So it's kind of like a pass-through. So you end up paying to use your credit card maybe 2 to 4%. And it's really going to negate any opportunity you have there in most circumstances.
So take a look at that idea.
You want to be really careful before you do that.
Before you start pulling the pulling the trigger on that one and moving on that one. Also, let's talk about the big day yesterday on Wall Street. A triple-digit gain once again for the Dow. Interesting, because curious about this with you, and I said, okay, I want to bring this up. We talked about Apple last week paying dividends. Is the smart move based on financial planners and a lot of folks that are talking about individual investors, is it still for dividend-paying stocks? Is that still the safe spot?
Well, there's a worry. There's a worry that under the new tax law, the dividends will be taxed as ordinary income. That's certainly what President Obama would like to see happen. On the other hand, you've got 80 million baby boomers that are approaching retirement, and they're looking for stocks that pay dividends. So I think dividends are still going to be the sweet spot.
Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Just a grab bag of items for us to touch on today. Stewart, it's always good to see you. Thanks so much. Let's talk about what's coming up on Good Day, Alex.